The internet of value is here, across borders, beyond banks. Welcome to the future. Welcome to Apex.
Hey, my friend, I hope all is well with you. Today, I'm going to answer the question that everybody's wondering. Can they confiscate our XRP? For goodness sakes, can they confiscate our XRP? The answer is absolutely no, but this is just my opinion, but I'm going to really show you some crazy stuff. I'm really going to show you the proof here, in my opinion, why they just can't. It's not that they wouldn't want to, but they just can't. And I'm going to ask the AI is going to help me to explain in more detail, point to point, because I'm a Frenchie and the AI can explain it better than me, or at least break it down in great detail, right? First, I'm going to explain to you the general idea, and then I'm going to go with the AI back and forth. I'm going to show you what I did here. But before we forget, please like and subscribe. It really helps my channel. I really appreciate all the love you guys have been giving me in the comment and all the compliments on the intro. Now, my friends, I'm asking you to share it with the XRP community. Share it everywhere, please. It's really important for people to see this and they can come to their own conclusion. Nothing in this video is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. You have to do your own research. The basic here is that the purpose of XRP is to serve as a global liquidity layer. It's to help with the global liquidity crisis that the central bankers have been trying to fix for over 30. They've been trying to figure out how the heck do we fix this liquidity crisis? And it has to do with the fact that money just doesn't flow. They have to print a bunch of money and it just doesn't get to where it needs to go on time. Just the main thing you have to understand is this XRP has been planned for many years, and the goal is to really prevent a global liquidity crisis. They've been kicking the can down the road here for many years, and they just can't kick it anymore. Now, what a lot of people don't realize is that in order to have a bridge asset that can serve as a global bridge currency to help with global liquidity and fix the FX markets, and help with global trade, and also fix the Triffin's dilemma, which is what an economist had warned about in 1945 when they created the Bretton Woods Agreement. To fix global liquidity, to help, it needs to be, of course, extremely liquid, and it needs to have unlimited use cases. It really needs to be in the hands of everybody, the hands of the citizens, corporations, fintechs, tech companies, commercial banks, central banks. Everybody and anybody needs to be able to access this currency, this global bridge currency, in order for it to be liquid. If you start trying to limit the use cases or start trying to limit who holds it, you're literally preventing liquidity, that create liquidity in the first place. The use cases that make it liquid, that make it to serve as a bridge asset, as an efficient liquidity bridge asset. So again, I know I repeat myself sometimes, but it's very important to understand that you cannot have liquidity really to be like super liquid unless everybody has it and it's extremely readily available almost anytime and anywhere and everywhere. That's what makes it super liquid, and that's why you need to have so many use cases and you need to integrate it into everything. Now, when The Economist magazine was published in 1988, and they said, get ready for a new world currency. Hey, my friend, if you're a day trader or pro, BTCC Exchange will be a game changer for you. BTCC Exchange is one of the world's most preferred and trusted crypto exchanges for day traders and pros, tailored for high volume futures and scalping. Founded in 2011, it's the longest running platform with 0 hacks, licenses in the US, Canada, EU, and more. It's a dream for traders. Top 5 on CoinMarketCap for derivatives, unmatched liquidity, rock bottom fees, advanced order types like TWAP and iceberg orders, plus API for algo trading. They also have one of the most user-friendly copy and leverage trading platforms in the world. Join over 600,000 traders, compounding daily scalps into explosive returns. If you're not using BTCC for your day trading, you're seriously missing out. Use my BTCC referral link on the screen, in the description, or in the pinned comment, or scan the barcode on the top right of the screen for up to 11,000 USDT rewards, up to 10% bonus on your first deposit via referral link, easy $50 minimum, and 30-day trading to unlock the bonus, up to 50% off fees and VIP perks like priority support. Leverage and copy trading is risky, so only use what you can afford to lose, or seriously, don't do it at all. I launched this YouTube channel to share crucial crypto insights, not to see you make reckless moves and lose your hard-earned money. Testimonials are paraphrased for clarity from real BTCC trader reviews. See description for sources. Never keep all your crypto on exchanges. Use reputable hardware wallets. Links below. Now let's get back to the video. In that article, a lot of people don't talk about the article. Okay, so this is the article I'm referring to. In that article, it specifically said that they're planning for a new world currency, and by 2018, this new world currency would come on the forefront, and they would accomplish this with new technologies that were on the horizon. They were referring to blockchain, but they did not specifically mention blockchain, but that's what they were referring to. And it said that they were going to accomplish this new global reserve currency. This new world currency is the exact wording here, as you can see. It was going to do exactly what Ripple is doing now. It was going to help the FX market. It was going to help with global trade, and it was going to help with liquidity. Now, in the article, they specifically said in a very subtle way, because nobody reads the article. Everybody talks about the front page, but nobody ever takes the time to really break down what the article said. And it said that they were going to accomplish this with relentless integration. So they were going to relentlessly integrate it into everything. Exactly what I explained a few seconds ago. And the article argued that since the IMF were the ones that created the special drawing rights and managed the special drawing rights, they would be the best institution to manage this new world currency. So in a very subtle way, technically what they were saying here is they're redoing the SDR. They're redoing the special drawing rights of the IMF. Because what happened is in 1968, they created special drawing rights to be a supplementary reserve asset to the US dollar, to the Bretton Woods Agreement, and to help with global liquidity and global trade and with the FX, but they were not successful because of the way that they did it. And I actually did a big deep dive on that where I show and explain everything. So now technically what they're doing here, what they're planning in this article 1988 is they're planning to redo the SDR. But what I want to explain to you, want you to understand is, again, they're saying this article here that in order to do that, they need to relentlessly integrate it into everything. So if you try to remove the citizens, say, oh, these people can't have it, those people can't have it, you're technically removing use cases and you're removing liquidity, or what makes it liquid in the first place. So that is really the thesis here. This is what I'm going to show you using the AI. He's going to break it down a bit better than this Frenchie and going to show you exactly what I mean. Now, I asked the AI to explain. I said, listen, this is the situation. This is what I see. Explain to me if you think this makes sense. And he says, yeah, exactly. This is exactly what it is, so on and so forth. And then I told him, can you simplify it a bit? Listen, we don't have 8 degrees or 8 masters, PhDs in economy. Can simplify it a tiny bit. I went back for it with the AI. I didn't give it any instruction, just make it a bit more simple, explain a bit more, explain a bit less. So here it is, my friends. Why taking XRP from people would ruin the plan for global money flows. Because again, like I said, their goal is to fix the global liquidity crisis by creating a new global reserve currency, a new settlement asset that is super liquid. That's the goal. So the hidden global money jam. What's broken? So let's go back here. Subtitle: a simple look at the 1933 gold story, money movement, game rules, and why grabbing citizens' XRP kills the future banks say they want. So by taking the XRP from citizens, it's going to kill what the banks say they want for the future. So, the hidden global money jam. What is broken? For more than 50 years, the world has faced a massive problem when moving money across borders. Banks are forced to keep trillions of dollars locked away in what are called nostro accounts, also nostro-vostro accounts. These are extra piles of cash parked in foreign banks just to make sure payments do not get stuck. This system wastes 2 to 3 trillion every year in money that could be used elsewhere, and it makes trades slow and expensive. The International Monetary Fund calls this the global liquidity crisis. Payments can take several days, cost 5 to 10% in fees, and often fail completely in smaller countries. World leaders, central banks, and the IMF have tried many fixes, including upgrades to the SWIFT system, the creation of central bank digital currencies, and new international rules. However, nothing has proven fast enough or cheap enough to solve the problem. The search for a fix. Decades of failure. Since the 1970s, bankers and economists have dreamed of a world with instant, low-cost global cash transfers. Despite all this effort, 27 trillion in cross-border payments still move through old, slow pipelines every year. The IMF reports 1.7 trillion remains trapped in the system at any given time. Central banks desperately want one neutral tool that works everywhere around the clock with no holidays, no borders, and no delays. And guys, the reason the AI is explaining it to me in a very simple way here is I told the AI, explain to me all of this like we're all 18-year-old here. So XRP enters the picture. Okay, so again, they're saying central banks been desperately trying to find one neutral tool to fix this. XRP enters the picture, the perfect tool. Ripple designed XRP to serve as a digital bridge coin. Banks buy XRP in one country and send it across the world in just 3 seconds and then sell it in the destination country. This eliminates the need for pre-funded Nostro accounts. The system is known as on-demand liquidity, or ODL. It already operates successfully in more than 100 countries. The IMF, the Bank for International Settlements, and over 300 banks are testing it because XRP has the potential to unlock 2 to 3 trillion. Right here, the AI doesn't know any better. It's saying it's over 300 banks, but this is BS. It's literally relying on what Ripple has been saying, and Ripple is lying. Well, they're not lying, but 8 years ago, they admitted that they had 200 banks, and Brad Garlinghouse, from what I recall, admitted that they were adding 5 banks per week. Now, I had a few people, 2 people in my comments say, in my YouTube comment and say that Brad had said that it was between 1 or 2 banks. So I did a lot of research. I couldn't find a clip where he said 5 to 6 banks, but I did find a clip where he says they were adding 2 to 3 banks per week. So let's be conservative. For me, let's say that he said 2 banks. 2 banks per week. We're going back in 2018 is when he said they already had 200 banks. Let's say they added 2 banks per week. And I know it's way more than that, but 2 banks per week, it's 100 banks per year times 8 years. That's another 800 banks. They already had 200. That's 1,000 banks. We know that they're plugging into Swift. I have 3 deep dives there where I absolutely prove that Swift is using XRP. It's going to use XRP. Swift is 11,000 banks. We know that CLS and all the other payment providers and techs are all connecting their APIs. I've done a lot of deep dives on that. It's not 300 banks. So I just want to make that clear. Ripple completely stopped talking about that in 2018. They stopped saying how many banks they had. They just kept it at over 200 and they never said anything more than that. They admitted that they were adding like 2 or 3 banks per week. Over 300 banks are testing it because XRP has the potential to unlock 2 to 3 trillion that is currently jammed up. No other cryptocurrency is fast enough, cheap enough, or neutral enough to handle the job. Why they need XRP to win? Central banks have stated clearly that they must have deep, always available liquidity in every currency pair. XRP requires billions of dollars traded every day by both large banks and ordinary people. Without everyday holders, prices swing wildly, costs rise, and the entire solution fails. This is exactly why governments and the IMF want XRP to be held and used by everyone. It is their best chance to end a crisis that has plagued the world for 50 years. The main problem, the money wheel trap. Any government that announces XRP will power global payments is really promising that millions of ordinary people will hold, send, and exchange XRP every single day. Taking even a small portion of their XRP is the same as blowing up part of a major highway just to control traffic. The entire system comes to a grinding halt. Money movement. Ripple explains that banks need extremely small price shifts even on massive transactions. Everyday holders provide that stability. If you remove 10 million people who each hold $500, you erase 5 billion in XRP. That is ready to trade at a moment's notice. That is the same as closing 500 small banks in a single day. A single $50 order from an ordinary person can keep prices steady for a $10,000 family payment. 10 million of those orders create a safety net, remove them, and the price jumps sharply. Payments slow from 3 seconds to 30 seconds or more. Ripple aims to move 10 trillion a year. Actually, it's 10 trillion per day. So it's actually 10 to 20 trillion per day because the DTCC alone, which the Depository Trust Corporation company, move over 11 trillion per day. It's 3,400 trillion per year that they move, and that's based on 250 days per year, but now they're going to go 365 days per year because it's all going on DLT. Mainly XRP is going to settle it. Maybe Stellar will settle a bit too, but it's moving 12 to 14 trillion per day right now. And again, it's only 250 days per year is my understanding. They're closed on the weekends at the moment. So this 10 trillion per year, Ripple aims to move 10 trillion a year. It's complete BS. It's actually 20 trillion per day because you have the DTC, you have the Federal Reserve, you have Swift that moves about 5 trillion per day, so on and so forth. That requires 30 to 50 billion traded. Normal people already add 1 to 2 billion. So we're going to skip here. Listen to this carefully. It's going to give a comparison when actually the US tried to, when they seized the gold, 1933, I believe. So XRP, fast bridge digital speed. XRP is completely digital, earns no interest, and only works when it moves quickly. Every tiny piece is identical and can travel anywhere instantly. Seizing 5 billion from ordinary people gives a one-time gain of 2 to 3 billion, but it destroys 50 to 100 billion in yearly payment savings. The loss happens within 2 days. Gold required armed guards and secure vaults. XRP requires none of that. You cannot seize it gradually. It is all or nothing. Right now, 3 to 5% of all XRP changes hands every day. Seizing people's XRP cuts that rate in half in affected countries. Banks label it too risky and return to traditional banking. XRP lives in 100 million wallets, mostly small ones. It feels like raiding everyone's phone-based savings account. XRP serves as money for families sending cash overseas. Seizing it looks like the government attacking your aunt who sends $50 home every month. And the backlash would be massive. Seizing XRP would cause prices to swing wildly, drop 30 to 50%, and scare banks away forever. No safe zone. All pieces matter. XRP has no safe category. Every tiny piece helps keep prices steady. A single 50 XRP order can stabilize a $5,000 payment. Seize it and the price jumps. Repeat that 10 million times and the entire system breaks. No price raise trick. Fixed supply. The government raised gold. It's giving a comparison with gold here because there was a part here where it explained everything about gold, but I skipped that because I didn't want to make the video too long for you. So they explained how they did it in 1933. They seized the gold and they explained why they were able to and why it's very different than XRP. The government raised gold's official price after seizure. XRP has no official price button. Seizing it simply reduces the amount that moves, makes prices bounce more, and encourages people to hide what remains. Surviving holders swap XRP to private coins and back again. The government's seized pile sits isolated while the real network continues in secret. Worldwide swap, no borders. Worldwide swap, no borders. Gold in 1933 stayed inside the United States. XRP exists everywhere. A US seizure would send Dubai buyers rushing to purchase cheap XRP. Singapore trading desks sending it right back in, and the treasury ending up with a useless shrinking bag. XRP moves in 3 to 5 seconds. Government orders take hours or days. Smart traders shift XRP out before any freeze takes effect. More than half of the computers that run the XRP network sit outside the US. A seizure causes new computers to appear in safe countries. The network keeps operating. Mind games, young crowd anger. XRP holders are mostly young people sending money home or saving small amounts. Seizing it feels like the government declaring war on digital freedom. Videos would explode across the internet. After 1933, people never trusted gold again. After an XRP seizure, no one would trust any fast digital money system. If one major country seizes XRP, others respond by offering tax-free zones or special accounts. The seizing country loses incoming money and payment power. All countries agree, do not take it. Breaking that agreement brings punishment through money fleeing the country. Maria is 29 years old. Maria in Manila, they give an example. She lives in Manila. She holds $600 worth of XRP and sends $25 home to her mother every month. A seizure forces her to sell at a cheap price or switch to a costlier coin. One tiny payment pad weakens. Multiply that by 10 million people and the result is disaster. Maria tells 5 friends and each of them tells 5 more. Within 3 days, $500 million in small XRP holding disappears. So they give the example of Canada here. From 1947 to 1951, Canada banned private foreign currency trades. Secret markets sprang up, money drained, and the rules ended after 4 years. XRP secret markets would be instant and worldwide. Canada spent millions trying to police trades. An XRP chase would cost billions and achieve nothing. They tried to seize XRP just in Canada, just in one country alone. It would cost billions for them to try to do it, and they would achieve nothing because it's an open network. It's completely decentralized. The distributed ledger, XRP ledger, is completely decentralized. So when people tell you it's not decentralized, they don't know what they're talking about. Bitcoin is more centralized than XRP because of all the hashing power, mining power being in Japan, I believe it is. It's China or Japan. I'm pretty sure it's Japan. Anyways, I think it's 60 or 80% of the mining is coming from one country for Bitcoin. It's more centralized than XRP. In Bitcoin is. So India. In 2016, India removed 86% of its cash overnight. The economy slowed by 1 or 2%, but phone payments grew. An XRP seizure would push people to other coins, not government ones. People would run to hidden coins, and XRP would lose its role as a neutral bridge currency. BIS bridge plan. So this is the central banks for all central banks. The Bank for International Settlements, BIS, are needed. The global bank group states clearly that everyday traders are essential. A seizure breaks their own rule. The plan is governmental digital cash to XRP to another government digital cash. A seizure cuts the middle link. BRICS plan, anti-dollar move. Russia and India test XRP to avoid using dollars. A US seizure screams that XRP is a tool of control. They would copy the system or switch to other coins. The US loses fast payment lanes between major emerging countries. New law waits. So the 2023 court ruling said XRP is not a security. A new seizure law would take 6 to 18 months. By then, people have already moved to private exchanges. Safe private swaps take over before the law passes. Insurance companies are testing coverage for XRP. A seizure cancels policies, triggers billions in payouts, and causes banks to pause operations. Banks wait months for new coverage, and the system remains frozen. Self-made crisis. Banks run tests for money shocks. A seizure is a shock they create themselves. Their own tests scream danger. One seizure causes everyone to pull XRP from exchanges, creating a global mess. SWIFT cut. Russia lost access to SWIFT, but dollars were not taken. The XRP version is blocking exchanges, not grabbing coins. Blocking hurts. Grabbing kills the whole idea. Holders who lose XRP leave forever. Distrust from the 1933 gold seizure lasted generations. An XRP loss means a permanent goodbye. Survivors hide XRP and never trade again, which slows the entire system. Network distance. The XRP network is a small world design. Removing 10% of people stretches payments paths by 40% and slows payments 10 times. Small country pairs become too expensive to use. The 2030 goal is 20 trillion yearly. This is BS. It's actually 20 trillion per day. It's way more than 20 trillion per year. Right now, it's 20 trillion per day in a very clunky old system, an outdated system. So imagine when it gets more efficient. It's going to be more than 20 trillion per day. Every people provide 40%. A seizure removes 8 trillion. The cost per million jumps from 10 to 80 cents. Banks drop XRP for direct government coins, and the system stops. If XRP can be taken, every fast coin faces the same risk. The whole new money idea dies. Startups avoid bridge coins, and progress freezes. If XRP can be taken, every fast coin, every fast token, every bridge currency faces the same risk. The whole new money idea dies. Startups avoid bridge coins, bridge tokens, and the progress freezes. Smart versus loud leaders. Who decides? Loud leaders love drama. Calm bank bosses want smooth systems. The calm ones win. Bank boards block seizures to protect their jobs. To give the example of the oil takeover here. In the 1970s, oil-producing countries seized fields and cut output by 30%, but oil kept moving. XRP has no physical pipes. A seizure stops all flows. Oil countries gained short-term money but lost long-term power. XRP has no long-term recovery. So here, the goal is smooth world money. The action is breaking the flow. So the action of confiscating would be breaking that flow. They cannot do both. It is not just unlikely, it makes no sense in a pro-XRP world. The goal and the seizure cancel each other out. Any leader who understands this will never take XRP. Any government that says we want XRP to be a global settlement layer, which is what they want to do, it's like I've shown you many deep dives, how all the central bankers are literally all working with Ripple and so on and so forth. So any government that says we want XRP to be the global settlement layer is simultaneously saying that we want millions of independent, geographically dispersed, ideologically diverse liquidity providers to hold, trade, and lend XRP 24/7. Confiscating even 1% of retail XRP is therefore not a control grab. It is liquidity euthanasia. They can't do it because, again, by saying that they want global liquidity, what they're really saying, this is what they're saying, we want millions of independent, geographically dispersed, So all over the world, people all over the world, ideologically diverse, doesn't matter what your ideology is, who you are, how you think, and how you feel about many different things. Okay, they want anybody and everybody, regardless who they are and how they think, to be liquidity providers, to hold, to trade, and to lend. This is what they're saying when they say they need a global bridge asset. Everybody, including every company, corporations, commercial banks, central banks, small companies, big companies, medium companies, the poor, the rich, so on and so forth. Everybody needs to hold it. Everybody needs to use it for anything and everything in order for it to be very liquid and to get that liquidity that they want. Everybody needs to be able to trust it. Every government needs to be able to trust it, that nobody can freeze it or confiscate it. Because if they think that they cannot be trusted and somebody could gain control and freeze it, governments are not going to use it. Broader adoption by individuals could enhance XRP's utility and liquidity. If citizens can hold and use XRP for everyday transactions, remittances, peer-to-peer payments, micropayments, etc., it could increase the network's liquidity and stability. More holders and users mean more market depth, which is critical for a currency used in global liquidity provision. Additionally, decentralized adoption could make XRP more resistant to regulatory crackdowns, as it would be harder to control a widely distributed asset. Network effects. A global liquidity solution thrives on network effects. Citizen participation could create a more robust, decentralized ecosystem, reducing reliance on a few large players and increasing XRP's appeal as a neutral global asset. Conclusion. Confiscation. Governments could attempt to confiscate XRP, particularly through centralized exchanges or legal mandates, but the decentralized nature of the XRP ledger makes widespread seizure difficult. Self-custody and global distribution reduces the feasibility of mass confiscation. Remember, XRP ledger it's a completely decentralized ledger, plus it has a decentralized exchange built on it within the ledger. So the XRP ledger is the only technology that has actual order books and a decentralized exchange built in it. Citizen participation. XRP can function as a global liquidity solution primarily through institutional adoption as intended by Ripple. However, allowing citizens to hold and interact with XRP could enhance its liquidity, resilience, and adoption. While not strictly necessary for its core use case, broader participation would likely strengthen XRP's ecosystem and long-term success. Even with government support, seizing XRP from self-custodied wallets would require access to private keys, which is impractical. Governments would more likely focus on regulated exchange, but widespread support for XRP would reduce the incentive to target these platforms. If central banks and governments back XRP, they would likely create frameworks to encourage holding and using it, such as clear regulations, tax incentives, or integration into payment systems. Confiscation would contradict such policies and destabilize the ecosystem they aim to promote. In this scenario, confiscation is highly unlikely, less than 5% chance, because it would directly sabotage the goals of liquidity and adoption. Governments would instead focus on policies to encourage citizen participation, such as integrating XRP into digital wallets or payment systems to maximize its utility and its network effect. And the only way you can do that is you have to let the citizens have it. You have to allow fintechs to create use cases. You have to allow anybody to build on top of it. You have to build DeFi protocols. You have to build DeFi solutions. You have to use it for anything and everything. Let people build, and do whatever they can to make it more liquid and successful and millions of use cases. That's what they need to do if they want it to be super liquid. In my opinion, they really can't confiscate for all the reasons I explained. It's not that they wouldn't want to, and it's not that they want us to get rich off it, but they can't, because they're going against the whole goal, in my opinion. So I hope you liked the video. Like I said, it's not financial advice. Don't sell the house and the farm and everything you own to put everything in XRP, because I said I don't think they can confiscate it, but that's my opinion. They can. And even what they've been doing, you see how they've been doing everything they can to build use cases around it. If you look at all the different things that Ripple is funding and financing, like the Interledger Foundation, everything they're doing is to bring mass use cases, right? As much as they can. I hope you liked the video, guys. Please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel. Thank you so much for all the love that you guys are showing me. It's unbelievable. The comments are really encouraging. I can't always reply to all of them. Just know that I am reading them and I am saying a big thank you to all your beautiful comments. Wishing you a great day, great night, great evening, great morning, wherever you are. And thank you so much again, and God bless you all. Hey, my friend, whether you're a day trader or huddler, I've got a game changer for you. BTCC Exchange, founded in 2011, is the world's longest running crypto platform with 0 hacks and licenses in many countries. No KYC or VPN needed, and signing up is fast. For whales or pro traders, it's a dream. Top 5 on CoinMarketCap, unmatched liquidity, low fees, plus copy trading lets newbies make $100, $200, even $500 per day, just by copying another trader and he does the trading for you. But leverage and copy trading is risky, so only use what you can afford to lose, or seriously don't do it at all. I launched this channel to share crucial crypto insights, not to see you make reckless moves and lose your hard-earned money. BTCC has over 300 crypto available, including XRP, QNT, XLM, and HBAR. Use my referral link on the screen, in the description, or in the pinned comment for up to $10,000 USDT rewards, up to 50% off fees, and VIP perks. Never keep all your crypto on exchanges. Use reputable hardware wallets. Links below.